NPN and PNP are two types of bipolar junction transistors, BJTs. In today's lecture, we'll discuss the difference between NPN and PNP transistor. The main difference between NPN and PNP transistor is that NPN transistor is made up of two N-type material layers with a layer of sandwiched of P-type, while PNP transistor is made up of two P-type and one N-type material. In an NPN transistor, a positive voltage is set to the collector terminal to generate a flow of current from the collector, while in PNP transistor a positive voltage is set to the emitter terminal to generate flow of current from the emitter terminal to collector. The main working principle of an NPN transistor is, when the current is increased to the base terminal, then the transistor switches on, while it is exactly opposite for PNP transistor. In an NPN transistor, the majority of charge carriers are electrons, negative charges which flow from the emitter to the collector, while in contrast, in a PNP transistor, the majority of charge carriers are holes, positive charges which flow from the emitter to the collector. In terms of how they are used in circuits, NPN transistors are generally more commonly used than PNP transistors because they are easier to manufacture and have higher current gain. In an NPN transistor, a small current flowing into the base terminal can control a much larger current flowing from the emitter to the collector, while PNP transistors work in the opposite way, where a small current flowing out of the base terminal can control a much larger current flowing from the collector to the emitter. Here is a table of difference for you in order to understand better about NPN and PNP transistor. In NPN transistor, the current flows from collector terminal to emitter terminal, while in PNP transistor the current flows from emitter to collector terminal. In NPN transistor, one P-type semiconductor is sandwiched between the N-type semiconductors, while in PNP transistor, it is made of up two P-type material layers with N-type sandwiched between them. In NPN-type transistor, the current flow from the collector is generated by keeping a positive voltage there, while in PNP transistor, the current flow from the emitter to collector is generated at emitter terminal by keeping a positive voltage there. In NPN transistor, the transistor switches on with the increase in current in the base terminal, while in PNP-type transistor, the transistor switches on when there is no current flowing at the base terminal. In NPN transistor, when the current is reduced in the base, the transistor doesn't function across the collector terminal and switches off, while in PNP transistor, when a current is present at the base of a PNP transistor, then the transistor switches off. NPN and PNP transistors are two different types of BJTs that differ in the direction of the majority charge carriers that flow through them. NPN transistors are more commonly used in circuits and have higher current gain, while PNP transistors are less commonly used. This is all about the main difference between NPN and PNP transistor, which are used to design electrical and electronic circuits and various applications. An NPN transistor gets the power when the flow of current runs through the base terminal of the transistor. In NPN transistor, the flow of current runs from the collector terminal to the emitter terminal.